Good morning, everyone. Judy Allen from here in San Antonio, Texas. Today we're going to be dealing with the Painted Christmas Suite. We are going to do stamping, but I'm going to show you how to do triple layer stamping, which gives a very unique and different effect. And I think you'll enjoy it. And we're going to start off simple. We're going to start off with the 3x3 card for my favorite people out there. And so I hope you enjoy it. We will do one card that's not going to be the layer stamping, but two of them will. So we're going to start off simple with the triple layering, and then we'll go up a challenging size with it as well. All right, so with that, let's go down to the hands, because it's been a crazy busy week because of birthdays. So today's our hump day to get this done, and then we're going to work on wrapping up the week. All right, let's go down to hands and get started. Alright, so I'm starting off, this is the suite that we're using right here, and this is in the catalog, it's in the mini catalog that we have going on right now. It's on page 16. So I'm just showing you that, so if you were wondering what it looked like and so forth and all, we're not creating any of this today or casing any of that today, but I just wanted to show you because the suite itself has 2 stamp sets and 2 die cutting, and we're actually using a little bit from each side. So I'm not sure if anything's going on with the camera or not. It says it's live, so I'm not showing the screen there. If anything's going on, you can't see it or whatever, just let me know. I'm not sure. There we go. I'm not sure sometimes about technology at all and what happens. But anyway, let's get started, like I said, with the easy one. Watch it there. All sort of easy. I don't try to make them that difficult. But I'm just going to show you, sort of give you an idea. This is triple layering, and this one here is triple layering is nothing other than you've got your original cardstock, and we've got 2 other sheets of paper that we're going to lay down over each other, and we're just going to stamp over it. And that's the same thing that's done here. You've got your base cardstock, you've got another layer of I used white paper, and another layer of white paper here. That's all it is. Laid them all together, stamped, and created our 3-layer stamping. Alright, so we're going to start, like I said, with this simple, and you're going to see how this goes, and we're going to make it simple. Okay, so this is our 3x3 cardstock, and I've already pre-cut out. Actually, I brought a spare just in case, or cut me out a spare just in case. So I've already got my 3x6 and half, so I have a 3x3. Now what you'll see is, even though I've cut out my paper already, I went ahead and cut out some paper I wanted to put behind it just so you can see it. Now in this particular case, it looks like I just really want sort of a smidgen showing, because it's going to show, as I was going to show you right here. See, you just have like a smidgen showing, so it really makes the color pop, but it also, you're layering it on, it gives us this whole effect that we're looking for. So I've actually got something I'm going to have to trim off here, and I'm not going to do it right this moment because it's more of this color than it is I've actually just used cork paper here because I'm going to use all the Christmas colors, and I wanted to do that. So I'm going to end up laying, when I stamp, I'm going to end up laying it down like this, and I'm going to take Jennifer Skinner provided me an idea, so I'm actually just taking it a little bit differently than what she gave me, but hey, it's going to all be the same. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp. So I am going to have a greeting on here, and on the 3x3, I usually stamp the greeting on it already. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because we're going to work around it as we stamp with the other colors, and I'm going to show you what I did. So I guess you can do it any way you want. The main thing is you want to hold your 3 sheets of paper that you're going to stamp sort of together. Now, because I am going to stamp in 2 colors when I do it, I'm going to actually use Post-it notes to hold my paper down. Let that dry just a moment and clean this off before I go and do my next color layer that I'm going to do. And I'm trying to see where I put down. Here it is. So I'm going to clean my stamp. So what we're going to do is I'm just giving that just a moment to dry. It's almost ready to dry already, but it gives me a chance to clean my stamp and put it out of the way because I'm not going to use it again for the moment. I'm going to sit up here and stamp on this one. I'm going to actually do some pine cones and greenery in the corner here. So for me, because I'm using more than one color versus Jennifer, because if you notice she used one color, and I asked her how she did. Jennifer scared, she asked her how she did, and she says, I just laid the white paper down and just stamped. And that was it, one stamp, one time. Well, I'm going to use more than one color, so the paper may or may not move when I do that, and I don't want it to move on me. And you'll see why, because I'm going to end up using 3 colors here. And what I'm going to do, let's see if I got it in place there. I already know that in my mind, I've already sort of got it down that what I'm going to do, I am actually going to stamp a pine cone and some greenery around it. So I know I'm going to focus on this corner here. And as a result, and I'm just going to take a Post-it note here, and I'm going to believe that's going to hold it all down. If not, you know what? I can get another Post-it note. And I'm just getting it to hold down just so the paper doesn't move on me, because I'm using more than one color here. So the first color I'm going to start with is my greenery. And I really could not decide. So if you have to like, please say hi. Or if you have input or suggestions, I'd really appreciate that too. It always helps when people sit there and give some input and everything. So I'm going to actually I hadn't decided if I was going to do this in, I've got 2 different colors of greens. I've got a garden green and a shaded spruce. And they're both beautiful greens. Let's see here, I do have that open already. I have my ink spots here. And I actually have a scrap of white paper here that I'm going to try to see which green I'm really going to want. Because I'm going to do brown on top of it, and I can actually do that on my sample too. Sometimes that's what we do, is we just do it on a sample first to give us an idea what those colors are going to look like. So you got a stamp 1 and a stamp 2 to see what that looks like. And then I'm going to do the same thing with another green. The other green I'm going to use. So that green that I just used, again, was the shaded spruce. The next one I'm going to use is the garden green. And the garden green reminds me a lot of your Christmas colors that we think of, the red and greens. But at the same time, I'm using this green to go next to brown. So we're just putting the green sprigs next to a pine cone. That's what we're going to be doing. So it's just a matter of what look do you want. So just give you a think that there's a stamp 1 and stamp 2. So you can see how this has got a little bit more bluish tone to this one here. But these are both dark, and I could easily go with either one, especially on this particular stamping right now. As we go from simple stamping to more serious stamping, I guess would be the great way to put that. You'll see that I most probably will use the garden green. But let's just see. I'm going to go ahead. This is just, what color are you? This is espresso, and actually I wanted to do, yeah, that's what I want to do first. This is actually out of the stamp set. I'm just tapping it 3 times, just so you can see what it's going to look like when I put it together. So I can see what it looks like when I put it together. So I might even want to stamp it like up there, so it looks like the leaves are around it, because I want to be able to see it. Okay, so that would be the first stamping layer that we would do. Let me just show you for the sake of argument here. So we see the stamp 1 and the stamp 2. So you see what that looks like. So actually, if I even wanted to go a little bit lighter, I could. You know, it's all about choices. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp with, this is Crumb Cake, which is already a lighter brown anyway. But I just want to see how it looks like as I combine it, because this is designed so I can sit up here and stamp over and get right in there between the colors. So I can see, yeah, there we go. Got a little off there. I really can't tell a whole lot of difference on my look there. I really wanted to be able to show it more. Get it in between there. Alright, didn't quite get that, so let's reverse it then. Let's reverse the colors and see if we can get a different look. because I'm not seeing them getting the look I'm looking for, that I think I'm looking for. And we'll see how that plays out. Okay, here's the same color there. And I sat there and put this here. This is the... Okay, that's still not like I want it. Alright, let me go with the lighter color. I'm just not going to get there, I don't think. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead. So this is just this one here. Alright, this is the lighter color that I was just doing, and let's see what it looks like if I go and stamp the darker color over it. I just wanted it to look like a pine cone, you know what I mean? That's all we're looking for. We just wanted it to look like a regular... I want to anyway. It didn't have to be. Just trying to see if I could turn it out a little bit. Well, I definitely like this color, and I definitely like putting this over the top. So I just didn't get it right there, so I'm just going to try that one more time. You know, sometimes you just have to try and keep on trying to get what you want. Alright, there we go. I'm going to try that again. And then I'm going to put the dark over it. And if you just line these up, they've got the stamp set, so it just lines up right there. See if I like that better. Alright, I'm not sure what I'm going to like today. Alright, we're just going to go for it, because it doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm just not getting what I envisioned I was going to get. I'm just thinking, let me do it this way a second. I want to try everybody's patience, but it's my own. Let me stamp with this first. See if you can see it. I think you can tell what I'm trying to do. For whatever reason, I'm just not getting there. See if I can do it this way and get there better. Alright, I think I'm just going to go with the light. And we're just going to go for it. Because I want to get this, and we still have 2 more cards to make. So I'm just going to go with this here. We're just going to go for it. Sometimes you just have to go for it. I'm actually going to stamp this one up just a little bit because I want to get that green behind it. And I definitely want the pine cone to come up in here. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and close that up before I make a big mess. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that green because I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and go with this green here because I know eventually we're going to do another one and we're going to stamp off. So I'm going to use the garden green around this here. And you know what? I may decide not to even stamp the dark brown. It's called espresso. Espresso reminds me of coffee, but it's brown. Okay. And see, then I'm just going to place this around here. And see, I don't even have to make sure that it stays on the paper. I can actually stamp off the paper here, and you can see that I'm stamping off. See, it's going to be like right here. If I wanted to, I could just got a little bit left there. And I got a little sprig right there. And see, look at what I just did. So see, you don't even have to use the full stamp if you don't want to. I can just stamp off like that right there. Alright, so I am going to do that brown. Just think what I'm going to do, let me see if I just stamp it once and see how that goes. It's still dark, but I'll just do it lightly. See if I can still get that. I want it, but I just don't want it to like overpower. Okay, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to lightly stamp it. See if it does anything for me. Okay. Well, it's not doing anything for me. But we're still going to go with it. Okay? Because we still have 2 more cards to go. I'll have to think on that. But anyway, that's the main thing here. So at this point, this is really all I had planned on doing with this right here in the layering aspect. But I am going to go ahead and at least, you know what I can do? I can tell you what I'm going to do. Since that brown wasn't quite like I wanted it, I'm just going to come over here to the side, and I'm just going to do it like this. Because really, I'm just doing simple stamping, and that's all I'm wanting to do. And then I'm just going to show you. Let's see if I can snap off to the side of it and give it a dimensional look. So I'm really just wanting to show you the technique and do some simple stamping, okay? We can always add bling. We can do a number of different things to change it. We got to first get the cork paper on there, and then once we get the cork paper on, that's going to give it a different look too. So now I'm just going to go ahead and take this off. I've already pre-cut the cork paper, and we might have, like I said, I might have to trim it a little bit because all I'm really wanting to do is I'm really wanting to still see this. And we're going to make sure we line it up because that's how we get our effect. But I want to make sure that right here, the cork paper, so for example, I really sort of wanted to center it. I mean, I want the cork paper to show, but I didn't want it to take over and dominate, okay? So I've actually got it trimmed a little bit more than I wanted, all right? So I just wanted a sliver really to just differentiate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tape this down. Cause my block to fall over. I'm going to go ahead and tape this down here to the point and position it where I want it and how I want it. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim it. I could get the trimmer out, but I mean, it's not that much. And my world's not going to end one way or the other. So there you go. Hi, Nancy. Good morning. Let's see here. We're just, yep, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to give any suggestions. Alright, so I'm just going to trim this out here, like I said. And just a smidgen, it's not a whole lot. I mean, basically, when we created the other cards, some of it was like getting down to a smidgen. I mean, did draw them out. So actually, when Jennifer created hers, she said she created hers from scratch, so she really didn't have any measurements. So I actually went and put some measurements and drew it out to see what it would look like if you actually had measurements to it. And then on mine, I actually did do mine with measurements from the very beginning. So it just shows you how we all create differently. So now I'm just going to put this on with dimensionals because, you know, I've already stamped it. So it's not like I have to go stamp it. I can always put a tag on here. But I've already stamped Seasons Greasing. See? And see, that's even cute too. Actually, I like that. But I've already stamped my Seasons Greeting on there, which we always do on the little tags or on the little 3x3 cards. That's what I've been doing. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put this on. So actually, we're going to line this up. I'm going to line it up at the bottom. And then I'm going to sit up there. Once I line it up at the bottom, I'm going to sit up there and then take the sticky stuff off the top and get that there. Just a second here. I was just looking. You guys are saying hello or making comments, and then it's like I'm not responding. Okay. Don't want you to think I'm ignoring you or anything else, because I am not. Okay, now see how when I'm lying here, I'm just lining up where I stamped. So actually, to me, it reminds me of the stained glass look. For anybody that's familiar with stained glass windows, I mean, you got a lot of old churches and stuff like that have stained glass windows, or even in sewing, there's techniques where you do the stained glass look. And you know, again, it's just given, you know, cutting your fabric or whatever. So the same thing, no different. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing I just did with that. I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on here and get this down, and then I'll sit there and trim the cork paper. So see, actually, it's simple stamping. It's just you're layering paper to get where you're going. It's no different than stamping. Instead of just stamping on one sheet, you're stamping on, for the 3 layers, stamping on 3 pieces of paper at the same time. One is the base of the cardstock, and the other is adding 2 more pieces of paper. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm actually coming down like this right here. And I personally am going to trim it out. And for me, it's just I just wanted a tad bit over. I mean, most things I do 1/4 of an inch whenever I do it. Same thing when I ink my stamps. I usually tap just 3 times. That's all you really need to do. You should just lightly tap on your ink pad 3 times, and you should have enough ink there to sit there and get the job done. All right, now see here how it lines up. So now all I'm going to do is put dimensionals on here. I just have a large one. Here we go. I'm so used to going to the right looking for dimensionals. Alright. So we'll just put the dimensions on here, and then we'll have this little card done. Jennifer and I had birthdays this week, so that's why it's been sort of fun and crazy. It's crazy fun. You know, going out to dinners and doing things together for birthdays. I got it stuck on there somehow. I don't know how a dimensional can be stuck on its own thing and not come off. Okay, I don't know either. That's just sort of weird. Alright, I don't have to deal with weird. I can move on beyond it. I can. Alright, so we're going to get this on here. I know the other one I waited. Yeah, but I got them all down right here. Alright, so see how that lines up? You can see where you just got like a little piece out of there. And we're going to line that up. And voila. There is your 3-layer stamped card. Alright, and this is a small one. Alright, so we're going to move on to our next card, number 2, which isn't going to involve any stamping except for the tag itself. And what I did with this, and I did this because I wanted you to see. Here's the stock, and we'll put some bling on it. What I think, we'll see if we put ribbon. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. We'll have to change out the stamp. So what I have here is, this is actually 2 different die cuts in the set. And so what I did is I just, as you can see, I did the one die cut here. And then I have another die cut that'll beautifully go over this and line up with the pine cones like this here. So I actually did the white and silver, and what inspired me for this is what my formal dining room looks like. I have it decorated with Christmas all year round with blue and silver. Blue and silver. And I'm always looking for those dimensionals. Alright, there we go, just buried them with the embellishments. Alright, so on this, yes, I want the height because that's what's going to make it all look really nice and special. So this one, at least I have the pine cones here that will hide my dimensionals, and it gives me great places to sit there and do it. When I go and put on the next layer, you're going to find out it's a little bit more challenging to put dimensionals on there because of the fact that it's so thin and delicate, but that's what makes it so pretty. So we're going to see what options that we have to do this. Let's take this off and we'll place it where we want to. I know for some people blue and silver are not traditional colors, but it does remind me of the winter time, the snow and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I have one room that's decorated with these colors and the whole winter looking theme. Then the other rooms, I usually, during the holiday time, I usually do just some sort of, mostly probably traditional green and red. I have Christmas in my kitchen year-round also, way on top of my cabinets. Alright, now see, I accidentally, so as I put this on here, and you can do this, I don't know why I did it that way. I don't have to do it that way. I could just as easily turn the card this way. But when I go to lay this down, I'll make sure my pine cones line up, because this actually coordinates the two die cuts do. So one will give you like a background and you put the stuff on top. So this is how we're going to overlay it. And see how pretty that is? But as you look at it, you'll see how delicate all this is, and there's really no big pieces. Now I could have die cut this with adhesive backing on here. They do have a piece of paper to do that. I didn't because I don't have mine in yet. I used it what I had. So I'm just going to flip it over and look for, you can see still some of the die cut stuff out. I'm just going to find a couple of spots. If there's anywhere that I can put a dimensional, it doesn't really look like it, I can maybe put a mini. All this stuff punches out and some of it didn't come out completely yet. Did I get that? Yeah. So that's the other thing I have to look for. Let me get my scissors here. So there's sometimes the things that you have to look for. And I'll just poke it out that way. Alright, so you can see it's very fine, very delicate, so there's really not a place to put a big dimensional for sure. I'm going to go ahead and try a mini dimensional, and I might have to even cut them. I know I'll have to. I already know this. I'll have to cut the mini dimensional in half. Does that make it really small? Yes, it does. Can I work with it? I believe I can. We're going to find out. If not, then I have a plan B. So I'm actually going to start with some pine cones. I think, the bigger items that I'm going to start with because I know they have a little bit more. See, this has like a little bit more space on it than some of the other stuff. So I've cut this in half. Let's see how it looks. It doesn't look too bad because it's going to be white behind it, okay? So I think I can live with that. Let me find a couple more spots I can do the same thing with that I can live with and feel like I really didn't like mess it up by showing dimensional stuff behind it. Because I really don't like to mess that up. I really like it. So everything's so pretty and you just want to keep it pretty, you know? Alright, there's one there. Let's see if we can find another one. I just want maybe two more. I'm going to do these two pine cones right there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a mini dimensional and I'm just going to cut it in half. So I'm just getting the different ends anchored. So we can get that there and we'll stick it down on top. So this is just, it is dealing with tiny stuff, and I'm going to do it like this. Now this is why if you had the adhesive paper, because you can run the adhesive paper, you can actually put, if I'd had adhesive paper, what I would have done is I would have just put the die cut, I would have actually put the paper on the sticky side, because the adhesive paper's got two sticky sides. So I would have actually put my white paper, or in this case silver paper, down on the adhesive sheet and stuck it down, and then I would have ran the two through my die emboss machine, die cut machine, and that's how I would have done it. And one of these days I'll show you that when my paper comes in. That's what happens when you use it all up before you're ready to demonstrate. But that's okay. I had fun. That's what matters. I had fun. Alright. So we're going to stick this down. Now let's see if I kept it all in place. I did not. Cool. Okay, here we go. Now you can see where I've got it right in place there. So I'm just going to stick it here. And you're going to see how nice it's going to look and lay. You can see I have another dimensional there. And so it's just going to be sort of fluffy there, and we have dimensionals there to keep it up. So the only other thing now that I have to do with this is I have a tag that I pulled out. And so you can't see my dimensionals that I've got in there because it's white background. If I used another color background, that really would have stood out. But because I'm doing the silver on the white, it just it blends in. But I wouldn't have wanted to have it like a real big dimensional there. Okay, because that wouldn't have looked good. Oh, fancy. I like the painted Christmas too. So pretty. All their stuff is so pretty. So that's why it makes it so hard to decide what you want to do. I am going to stamp Season's Greetings on this here. And, so when you look at their stamp sets, one stamp set is with all the greetings in the suite. And then this is where you have all the different stuff here to stamp. So actually the greetings are here. And I'm just going to use this Season's Greeting. And I've got this long tag here. And I love this color, like I said, because I've got my dining room colors in this color. So I am actually going to use a block with two stamps on it. I actually brought some bling, make sure I had some bling to match, because I wasn't sure if I was going to do ribbon, bling, or both. And knowing me, I'll most probably do both. Again, all you have to do is just tap it 3 times and stamp, okay? Let's see, I'll show you over here. Okay, that's all it is. We did a bunch of stamping over the weekend, having fun with friends. And then we did Zoe and Nana stamping, but we created in our spare time as well. And, that was one of the things we had to remind is that you just have to tap 3 times and you get good coloring. See, looky there. Really good coloring there. So it's not like we have to pound into the ink because it doesn't serve any purpose, anything with there. Alright, so I have this here. So I have 2 choices. I don't know, Francine, if you're still there. I could put this anywhere on here. Okay? And I don't know, Francine, if you like it, I do it this way, or if I did it the other way. Now this way, I had originally thought this way, and the reason is because I wanted to put this ribbon here. Because, does it add a whole lot to it? I don't know. I don't know if it does or does not, but for me, it's the whole snow effect. It's the whole Christmas, snow. Remember, that's what it reminds me of. But that's what I am going to use this. And actually, what I'm going to do with this here is, because I am going to go down the middle there, so I'm going to have to do something to stick it to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put some tape down. And this is a little different because this isn't normally how I do ribbon. I usually do ribbon with glue dots. But I think this will be just fine. I'm going to show you if I can get my tape runner going there for me. Alright, so actually, because I know I'm going across the whole thing there, I'm just going to see. Yep, that's the side I want. I'm just going to stick it down like this. Okay? And that'll work. See how my tape is sticking? I could do, lots of times I use glue dots, but because of what I'm doing right now, and I just want it to hang loose, I'm going to do it like that. And then I'm just going to take the large dimensionals on back here, and I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to put some bling on top. And then we'll have our second card done. And then, like I said, this one had no stamping other than on the label. So we're dealing with simple stamping. And we just added die cutting layers to it here to give us a card. And then we'll trim the ribbon. And yes, I do. Some people say, I was like, oh, you could have saved on the ribbon or whatever. I could have. I mean, but the truth of the matter is, I'm creating what I want, and for me, it is easier for me to have a little extra ribbon on each side, so I have some flexibility if I change my mind or whatever I want to do. See, and I just leave it like that, and I'm just going to trim it with the sides, and it's just going to float there. It's just going to have the wispy look, just like the pine cone stuff is. So I'll get that out of the way. Now, I am going to add bling. I already knew I was going to add bling when I was looking at this because it's like, oh my gosh. I like bling. My granddaughters love bling. My daughter wasn't used to be crazy about bling, but after she saw cards and saw a card without bling, she goes, oh, I need some bling there. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this one here. See how pretty that is? This reminds me of an aquamarine gemstone is what it really reminds me of. But it's pretty. Look at that. Look how it sparkles. See, that's for me, that's it. It's all sparkly. When you go out and you get fresh snow on the ground, it's so sparkly. I'm not going to put this here. I'm going to put this most probably way up here. And that's most probably the love of my life I like the most. He goes, oh, I really like that you put that up there. And I'll be going, really? I created this whole card. And that's what you really like the way I did that. That's okay. It's whatever. It floats everybody's boat differently, right? So that's the main thing. It's about having fun and creating. Alright, so there's the second card. I just did simple stamping here, die cutting, and you see how this hangs? It might move a little bit, but that's okay. We've got dimensionals there, it'll hold, and we have bling. So there is our second card. Alright, we're going to move the bling out of the way, we're going to move the blue out of the way, because this now is where we get to the serious stuff. And we have to get done by 1 o'clock my time, because that keeps me on schedule of at least an hour or less. So let's get on to the third card. Third card, yes, like I was saying a minute ago, we're going to do the stamping again, layered stamping. This time, though, I'm going to add some ribbon as my goal. We'll see if we make that happen or not. So I actually brought choices. I thought maybe I'd stamp on the green, but I thought, never mind. I'm just going to stay consistent with what we've done. But I did bring, I made sure to put in here my leftover scrap cork, because you'd be amazed how you can use just a teeny little piece of cork left over like that scrap, do something with it. So actually I'm going to sort of pattern after what Jennifer did on her card. Instead of doing the layers I did, I'm going to try to duplicate her layout there. That's my goal. I do try to case other people's stuff from time to time, or inspired, and I never can do it exactly like they do it. But you know what? I do try. So for me, right now, I just want to sort of get the look of where I think I'm going to want to be stamping. Because this time around, I'm not going to use the pine cones. The stamp set has some beautiful leaf and foliage and stuff and all. So that's what I'm going to do. Actually, hers is sort of like this. Alright, so that just sort of gives me an idea what I'm going to do. I sort of get myself a little layout, because you know I'm going to have a tag as well. I'm hoping to use some ribbon. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use the ribbon or not, but I'm hoping to. I'm hoping to use it somewhere, you know, maybe even it's just there. I don't know. But I'm going to have it handy because I really would like to use some ribbon. So I'm just going to push this aside, and I'm going to take this aside, and I'm going to, oh, sorry, wrong one. Come back here, you. Alright, so I know I'm going to trim this most probably a little bit, just like I did the other one. Alright. And so she just sort of had hers overlaid like that. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to put these both to the side. I don't have to stamp this one first because, I did that again. I don't have to stamp this one first because I'm going to have a label this time. So when I did the smaller card, I didn't have a label. I just set it there and, you know, just stamped on it without a label. So I'm just going to sort of position this where I believe I'm going to want it. Okay, see right there? Now Jennifer just sat there and stamped the middle of her card. She stamped it one time and came up. I'm actually going to add a variety of colors and stuff to mine. So I am actually going to again use my Post-it notes, and I'll move them. I'll reposition them. I think that's all I need right now. I can start up here if I need to and move it around. But I'm going to be using different colors, and I'll show you, and I'll have to change out the stamps. But going to the catalog, it's not this side, but see how they got the berries and the leaves, and you come over a page more over in the catalog here, and you'll see how they just got the mixture of foliage and stuff like this. So I really want to capture the foliage and these red berries and the variety of greens. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to just do one color. I'm going to do some different colors. So I'm just going to change out my stamps, the stamps that I just showed you, so that I can capture that. And as you can see, I've got the berries here. I could easily stamp with this here. You've got the greenery right here and all. So I'm not going to do all of them, but I am going to at least take some of them. And I've already used the pine needles. Or actually, you know, that almost reminds me of cedar leaves. If you've ever seen cedar trees, this is what sort of reminds me more of cedar than pine. This is more of a different type of pine here to think of. But I'm just going to pick some of these leaves. And I'm going to put them on here, and it's going to give me a variety of colors. And that's what I sort of want to do. I want to give a variety of colors. And I'm just putting my stamps back. So we'll have some reds, we'll have some greens, and we'll have some lighter colors. And then, you know what, I really like this little part here. I'm going to put it on the other side of this one here. I like that little sprinkle, so I'm going to put the little sprinkle dots somewhere. And then, oh, yeah, I can put some right on top of here, right here. Here's some more greenery. Let's see if I got another block I can get something from. So what happens when you do all this is you get all that little... There we go. Pull that off. I'm doing some things I wouldn't normally do. I wouldn't just like leave my stuff there and stamp like that. But I am going to do that for the moment because it's just going to make it a little bit easier. Hi, Bridget. Alright, let's see if I got enough greenery and stuff I want to do here. Alright, so that's the thing is you gotta keep in mind that I plan on filling up my card. So if I gotta fill up my card, then I am going to need some big flowers, right? Or some big greenery. That almost looks like that's where those red pieces are gonna go. Alright, let's do this. I think that's enough right there. I can always add later. When I did this layer here, just let me show you when I did this layer here. When I got through, I had white space between all of this, so I actually used a sponge and I came through and lightly did a softer color in between, so I didn't have so much white space. I can't tell you that I'm going to do that today because I'm not sure, but I do know that I'm going to use this green. This is the, actually believe it or not, I dropped ink pad on the carpet last night. I was grateful it did not stain the carpet. Alright, so I'm actually just going to do some stamping here. I can't tell you there's any rhyme or reason. It's just I'm just going to be stamping all over the place. I'm just going to make sure I get my stamp, the first color, and then the second color, because I got to be sure to get some red in here, but I also want to be sure to get a lot of this greenery in here. And keep in mind, you don't have to sit up there and stamp off. You can stamp off the paper, okay? Sometimes we think we can't do that. And it, just gives it from giving a really flat look. Alright, I'm going to change out my stamps a second, because I want to get this other greenery in here too. This is a big leafy greenery. So actually I'm going to come over here. Looky there, see how big that is? And then I'm just going to come over here. And I'm just going to start a stamp like this here. See how it's going to be lighter? It's going to have some other look to it too. But that's okay, because when I get through, it's not really going to matter. Now, the only thing is I really care about right now is I really don't want my paper moving on me. And I want to keep on with my green. So all I'm doing is moving my Post-it notes so everything stays in place. Because that's going to be important in the end, right? And I'm going to go back and stamp with some more greenery here. I'm rotating stamps here. So I get a mixture of everything all the way around before I start putting my little red berries on here. Because there are going to be red berries on here. Okay, see? And then I can come up here toward the edge. And looky there. So see, it's not complete, and that's fine. This is what gives you all the different looks. And that's what you're wanting. You don't want it to look all the same. But, I am going to get some red on here, because it is Christmas time. I'm using, I did wipe that off, because I wasn't sure if I wanted any more of that or not. Okay, I think I've got enough of the big green leaves. I don't know, if you think I need more, let me know. I think those are all red. I was trying to look and see if there was anything else I wanted to add before I put the green away. But I think I'm really sort of good with this. I don't want to really, I think I'm good with this right now. So I'm going to go for the red now. I'm going to use real red. And we're going to deal with the berries now. Different berries. And these actually look like, I hadn't tested this out to begin with because it didn't really matter to me one way or the other. It almost looks like if you line, you could line these up, possibly. I'm going to do this right here. I don't know if it's really supposed to be this or not, but I am. And then let's see here. Let's see here. Over this one here, I'm going to just add 2. And I'm going to stamp off, okay? So see, it's not quite on the paper. It's going to be stamped off. Then I'm going to come over here with these real small little dots. I'm not sure what they go to. They must probably go to this right here. And I'm just going to stamp. I'm just looking for some berry effect here. Now see, I can go ahead and move my Post-it note again if I want to. And I can just sort of do some berries right here. And then, oh, now see what happened there? It's okay though. The nice thing is at this point I've already got it lined up. And see, but when I pulled that up, see what happened? And let's see here. I might have messed this up right here. It just becomes an opportunity for creativity. Let's see here. And we know we're going to have the cork paper there, so it'll help clear that up. Now see here, it's just sort of like right there. But you can see when that paper pulled up, I sort of messed that up a little bit. It's alright though. You know what? We're not going to worry about it. That's sort of like sweating the small stuff. We're not going to sweat the small stuff. That's small stuff. I can handle that. Alright. Going to come over here with this here. And I'm just going to stamp here. And then I'm going to come through here and I'm just going to stamp some more berries. I'm just going to stamp, let's see if it looks about right there. So I'm just trying to make sure it keeps it lined up. Okay, because we're going to get the same effect that we're looking for. Alright, at the moment I think I'm going to leave it right there. If anything I might come back and do at the moment is maybe put some more light green color in there, or may not. Let's see how it's looking right now. It's one of those things that you can come in here and see how it's looking and see what you think about it. And then if you think you don't have it right, you can go back and try to line that up and see. So I'm going to come in here with this. So just get the look and see what you think about it. So we know it's going to come up here looking like this, like stained glass. That's what I call it. So this reminds me of stained glass. So you see, I might have to tweak it just a little bit. There you go. Alright, and then I'm just sort of getting a feel for it to see if I think I want more color or not, because I can have ribbon that I can add, and then I'm also going to have a tag. So again, I'm just going to sort of lay it out. This is where this sort of really came in, was right in here. Oh, there we go. So you can see that I sort of slightly got off there. This really should go like about there. Okay. And you can see where it continues right there. Alright, so I'm going to trim that out, and let's see if I put this here. We have a label. So if there was something I really particularly didn't like the way it turned out, I can move my label around and cover it up. So I am going to stamp that, and I also have the option of ribbon. So let's say that I really don't want to cover up everything that I did. Now see, I could have put some red there. I'm just looking at that now thinking, wow, you didn't put any red right there. I did not. So I'm going to put a little red, but I think what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to actually sort of stamp it off lightly. So that's the other thing of laying it out like this. I can go and see, wow, was there somewhere that I might would have wanted something else more to it. So here we are right here is where I stamped this. And so like when I stamped a while ago and the paper came off my Post-it note and all, it's almost like it pulled off there. So I'm just going to, so actually I don't want to really like a bright red on this one. So I'm just going to stamp off here, and then I'm going to come over here, turn my stamp around, and just sort of give me some right there. So it just gives me a little bit more color. Like I said, I have ribbon, so I am most likely to add ribbon somewhere, but I think that's enough right now. If I wanted to come back later, I could, but I'm fine with it. And plus, it keeps us on time too. But you know, it's always an opportunity to create another card. And actually, this one doesn't look like I might need to trim a smidgen off the top there. We'll go ahead and get it taped down and see what we're going to do. Let's see here. So let me put it aside. Get my tape on here. And yeah, we'll get it going. Nice and easy. We're not doing a race here, the need for speed, but see how much nicer that is if I just take my time and not act like I'm gonna racing down the road. Alright. Let me see what the direction is. It doesn't matter. Let me just go ahead and get this down where I want it. So yeah, so it's, for me, it's for this part, it's just get it where you want it here, then you can trim it. Okay? It's easy to trim with scissors. And the same thing here. I'm just going to get it about the same. I just want a little bit. Sometimes I think I want more. Then I go back and change it. And other times I want less. So this today I just want a little bit less. I just want like a smidgen there just to differentiate, and so that you can tell that I've got the layering, and it just gives it a cool different look. So then when I get through this, now that I've rotated it around a few times, I just have to make sure I've got it lined up correctly. Whether we're going to put it on the regular piece of paper. Alright, so you can see that I'm most probably going to trim this just a little bit. This one I might do a little on the front and the side because I just want a little bit there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to trim it a little bit. And I'm just doing it with my scissors. It's no big deal. It's sort of like fussy cutting. Just eye it with your eye there. It will be okay. Because really the focus is on the red berries, the greenery, all the Christmas stuff is what it's really focusing on. Okay, now I'm going to trim this one off here. So keep in mind, this cork paper doesn't have any ink on it. The ink is just all on the white paper when we did the layering. That's how we get the effect. I might cut that a little short, but that's okay. Alright, so actually now I'm ready to put this up on dimensionals because I have this shorter piece that's going to be on top of here. So I'm going to get my dimensionals on here. And we'll save doing our label for last. And our ribbon. I'm not sure how I want to do the ribbon. Is where I'm at right now. I know I want to do the ribbon. I just don't know how I want to do the ribbon. But I'm at least going to put 2 of these down here on the bottom. Get it at least anchored. That way, in case I want to come around the ribbon with 2 layers of paper, I can. It won't be a big problem. So sometimes, I mean, I have, like the one I created and showed you earlier, I did put the ribbon on after I completely finished the card because I knew I wanted something else. So I just couldn't figure it out what I wanted. And it finally dawned on me when I saw my ribbon what I wanted to add. So I did. And you know, just as I told you I wasn't going to take the top 2 off, I just did. Alright, so I have the same opportunity I had the other day with when I want to put my ribbon on. So when I go to match this up, see here, you're looking for it where it's going to line up and match when you created it. So here it is right here for me. And it's going to overlap a little bit. I need it down a little bit though. See? It's not going to make a difference. Now somehow, some way, I sort of messed this up over here. I'm not sure how I did that. But you can see right here I did. And you know what? It's an opportunity for creativity. Now I am going to put dimensionals, but looky here. I need this part to be flat, okay? And the reason is because it's going to be right on top of here. And I don't need height on it. I could put height on it, but then I'm going to have double height down here. Now if I want to do anything, I would put maybe a smaller dimensional here. Might be nice. I could do that. And that way the larger dimensional down here would be for the height. So let's do that. I do like the fact of height, and you know, when I talked about Jennifer and borrowed her card, she did not. She did hers. It looks like she has any dimensionals here. It looks like she just taped the first part down, best I can tell. Oh, no. I think I see some mini dimensionals there. I don't want to tear up her card. It looks like it does have some mini dimensionals. Okay. I don't want to tear up her card, but you know, that's always one way to look at it, is go check out somebody else's and dissect it and see what it looks like. Alright, she did. So let me just put one here and put one on the edge here. And you're going to see how nicely this is going to give it just a little lift so you get that whole look, as well as with our leaves. Okay, and then I'm going to sit there and put at least 1 dimensional right here. But I'm not going to finish it up completely, so actually I ran out there so I can actually, just sort of clip that off a moment. I want to thank everybody that's joined in and said hi so that I know you're out there. Always nice to know you're out there and be able to at least respond to you, or if we're creating together or go along with each other. If you want me to do something different. You know, anytime that you say, hey, would you want to do this? I'd like to see this done. Just let me know, okay? I'll do it. Or I'll try to do it anyway. Francine asked me about a particular style of stamping and using the Verimark and causing something to rise up, and it looks like it was done in red, but the ink dries too quick for it to do that. and it looked like it had a bubble effect on top of the red. So tried doing that, and it really doesn't work because you really need the Verimark. So I do have a suggestion, an idea how to do that. That's not today. So see here, so I'm trying to line this all up. Okay, so that line's up there, but I have to really sort of maybe shift it just a smidgen either way if I want to, but it'll work out. See how it's going to work out anyway you go. If I did not really was crazy about this, I would get my blender tool out and I would just grab a little bit of ink, or I actually would put some ink on inks on one of my ink on one of my blocks is what I would do, and then I would either use blending tool to get it the way I wanted to, or I would use, I'm trying to think what else I would use. I usually either use a blending tool to get where I want to go, or I can also use Wink of Stella, because Wink of Stella will also pick up colors from something and help you bring that along. Okay, so see how I've got that lined up. Now I need to put one more dimensional there, as you can see, because it just sort of needs a little help there. But then let's see where we're going to put that ribbon, and I'll show you how I handle the ribbon once I completely make the card. It's definitely easier if you know where your ribbon's going to be and you've got it planned out. But sometimes, you know, you think you plan out a card and you say, hey, you know, I wasn't going to use ribbon, and then when you get to done, you say, gosh, I really like some ribbon on there. Now looky there. Now see how nice that looks already, and we haven't added a label or anything. So I really want to add a label, but I really don't want to cover up everything that I worked hard on. Let's see. See, this is sort of tough. This is a tough call right here, is where am I going to put this ribbon, this tag. Now, what I could do, because this is a nice size tag, and it did come out of this set on a die cut, I could put it up here. I could put it to the side here. That sort of didn't come out quite the way I wanted to. So I could put that there, but I really wanted some ribbon somewhere. So let's see if we can fit ribbon here. I've got about 4 minutes to figure out if we're really going to be able to put some ribbon somewhere. Ribbon always sort of looks really nice too by where you put your tag. Whether it's like this, or whether I put it on top. And it may be that the ribbon's not going to work out for me, because see, this is a nice size ribbon. This ribbon is a 1/2 inch wide, so it may be that it's just not going to work out for me today to have ribbon. Or I can just put a little bit, like right here. So I could put a little bit right there. Let me go ahead and get this stamped so we can see what we want to do with that. I might have to skip the ribbon. Like the other option I could do is I could sit up there and I could actually put some corked paper on here, is the other thing I could do too. So I'm going to have a Jolly Christmas here is what I'm going to do. And you'll see that this is it's going to take up, so this is actually going to take up a good portion of the stamp. The tag, not stamp. So I could have cut that in half. I was thinking about cutting that in half, which I could easily cut this tag in half and have the, so what that would look like if I did that, if I cut this tag in half, my tag would have ended right about here, and I could have just put ribbon right there. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to, because this is a nice big stamp, and I'm going to ink this up in red and stamp it, because it's going to go really pretty with this, the colors. And I just have my ink spot here. I got my ink pad coming, a bigger one. So I'm using my paper pumpkins. Whoop, whoop. Using my paper pumpkin ink spots. So they do sell ink spots. I think there's 10 or 12 that you can get in a set. They're just nothing but ink spots, and they're great to carry around. You know, if you're, whether it's in paper pumpkin kits or just easier to travel with if you didn't want to travel with your large ones. And they're handy, as you can see, as they've come in very handy for me. Alright, so here is more than likely where I'm going to put this. And I will put it on dimensionals. And I can put bling on there. I can put ribbon. Let's see what we're going to put on there that makes this easy in 2 minutes that we have left. And if I can't make a decision in 2 minutes, that's okay too. Because the purpose is to have fun And you know, many times I've created something and I just don't know what I want to put on it yet. So I wait. I wait and look at it for a couple of days to make a decision, till I find exactly what it is I want. I don't know what I want sometimes, you know? That's okay. Alright, so I do want my little red berries there. I'm trying to think where I really want this, because I worked really hard on stamping. I'm gonna cover that up here. So let's see, I'm gonna just come up like right about there. Okay, there we go. I'll cover up where that ink spot didn't really quite work out for me. Alright, so see, that looks very plain to me. So I can put this, but this looks really wide. So I'm going to go ahead and put that ribbon away. I might find another ribbon, that's fine. One thing I could do that I like the idea of is I could surely put this across here, and I like that. Alright, so let's just put, I am going to have to, let's see what would be easiest for me. I'm going to use this here. It'll be easier than the tape. But I'm just going to run this, just lightly squeeze it. You don't want to squeeze it real hard because it'll really come out, but this stuff sticks really good. I use this on a number of different things. I was using it yesterday, putting some giant bling down on a pumpkin that had I'd sprayed it with some glitter paint, and a lot of things don't want to stick well to glitter paint, but this stuff did. Alright, now I'm going to trim that out so you don't have to worry about like, oh, how does it look. Alright, I'm going to trim that out. And you know what? Because I did it there, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do it right across the top as well. I don't know. Alright, I don't know that I like that. But I can tell you what we can do. We can add some bling. So what kind of bling do we want to add here in our last few moments? I have gold bling. That'll most probably look really good. I have red bling. Where's my red bling here? I got some pretty Christmas. We just used the blue a minute ago off the other, so let's see if I got some red on that. Let's see if we got some red on it. Where'd it go? I'm looking. I don't see it handy. Alright, if I can't find it, we'll go with gold. Alright, I got the gold bling out. That'll look good with that. I was hoping I got this Christmas red that looks really good too. Alright, well, I'm going to put the gold on here. You know what? And I reserve my rights to come back later. Oh, here it is. I'm going to reserve my rights to come back later and put that red on there. Alright, I'm going to use a sparkly red. And it's going to look so pretty. And I'm just going to put one right at the top, because I always have a tendency to put one at the top. See how nice it's going to look? I'll put some smaller bling here. And I'll put more bling. I like bling. And I could just as easily put some of this bling out, making it look like it's one of the berries too. Or I can spread it out among the green here. I just try to get the odd numbers. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add one more so we have odd numbers. And then we will call it a day. How about that? And we get one way up there. For the love of my life. Alright, I'm going to finish trimming this out because it's dry now. So you can see, all I'm going to do is just trim it off. Got really sharp pointy ends here on these scissors. See how nice it just cuts it off. And I'm going to do the same thing over here, except I am right-handed and I do everything from the right. And I'm just going to clip it off. Sorry, isn't that clippy? Looky there. And you know what? If I want to, I can even put some bling right there underneath. If I do that though, which I will, because I can put another big one right there. Then that just means I have to add something somewhere else. And that's okay. I like that. I like the bling. Okay, and I'll just add one right here. If I think it's too much later, I'll always come take it off too. So just as I come back and decide I might want to add something, I have also been known to decide it's too much and I take it off. Alright, so that is the third card. Here we did our layered stamping. And we went ahead and put our label on here. But you can see the layered stamping. Did I put a bling dimensional there? I did, but I didn't take the paper off. That's why that's not doing the way I thought it should look. Okay, now there we go. Now see how nice it is to be able to do the layer stamping. It's not really that hard. I created a big mess, but that's okay. So there's the last card we did with the 3-layer stamping. Here is the first card we created with the 3-layer stamping. And in the second card, I didn't even do that. I just did dimensional cutting, die cutting, and layered it like this. And it was just very simple. All right, so Nana, Judy Allen, I'm both. I want to thank you for joining in today. I hope you enjoyed that. And if there is another stamp set or die cut set that you'd like to see demonstrated or shown how to use it, it could even be the paper. I've even done the paper before. Just let me know and we'll do it. All right? It's all about having fun, creating together, and just learning different things as we go along the way. Meanwhile, have a blessed and adventurous week. Go create something. Be sure to share it with somebody. Don't keep it forever. Pass it off. Send somebody a card. Bless their day. You might see somebody, you want to give them a card. Just bless somebody else's day. All right? Because you get blessed in return as well. So be adventurous. Have fun. And I will see you next week. Be sure to share us and like us on Facebook, or we're on YouTube and Instagram. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy the different things that we do, be sure to share that with others. All right? Have a blessed week. See you later. Bye.